Yo, what's up, guys? There are a lot of promos today on Sportsbook. So we're going to go through, we're going to, hopefully find some good bets. So let me share my screen real quick. So again, like I've explained before, but all these books, you can see Sleepers running a promo, right? They're bringing Ohtani's line down from 7.5 to 5.5. It's only for a $20 max bet size. But all these books, right, they run these promos, I mean, essentially as a loss leader, right? It's a marketing cost for the books. They know these promos are really profitable. I mean, literally, if you look at, any sports book, they're going to have Ohtani's strikeout line at 7.5. So getting a 2 strikeout, discount is a huge deal. This is definitely a play you want to be on. And it sounds a little crazy. Why would a sports book give me a bet they know is profitable? And again, like it's a marketing cost. All these books do the exact same thing. They just take bets. So they have to like differentiate themselves and like market themselves. And a lot of times they do that by running promos. So long story short, I ended up pairing this with Oviedo under 6.5 strikeouts, which you can do if you want, right? You want to take Ohtani's over. You're getting, a 26% discount. So really profitable play there. But anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to go through the Underdog Fantasy promo. And we're also just going to look for some other good bets. These two plays I actually hit on the previous live stream. I already bet them. But again, like, depending on the location you're in, you may, use different sports books. You may use the exact same sports books as me. But as a sports bettor, right, you want to have as many sports books as possible. Sometimes they're running really good promos. You can see Sleepers running a promo today. Underdog Fantasy has a bunch of promos today, right? And then, you never know also just which book is going to have value. So you can see there's a lot of plays on Fliff right now. And I've already placed some of these bets. But regardless, what we can do is we can go here. I'll go to the Astros game, and we want to be on the over 9 runs. So this will be the first bet I place. And again, like Fliff used to be able to pull it up on my computer in a little web app, but that ended up breaking. So whatever. I'll lock this in, real quickly, and then we'll go over to Underdog Fantasy. So we want to take the over 9 runs, max bet size of 250 on Fliff. You can see I locked it in this play right here. And I mean, again, like the general concept is pretty simple. Your gut is not going to beat the sports books. You're not going to be able to outmodel the sports books. Like a lot of people think the way to win sports betting is like, oh, I'm going to create a better model than DraftKings and MGM and every sports book. But at the end of the day, that's impossible. First of all, they're billion-dollar companies with better resources, more data feeds, everything than you. Like they're pretty good at setting lines and better than me. So you're not just able to like spin up a model that's going to tell you, where there's value on DraftKings. Another thing you have to realize is books move around lines. They change their odds due to supply and demand, right? So if you think about the price of a stock, if people buy it, the price goes up, right? If people think the company should be valued higher, they'll buy the stock, the price goes up. It's the same thing in sports betting. Even if you have a model, you don't have access to the betting volume data, right? And what I mean by that is, again, DraftKings is constantly moving around odds. They're getting new information, right? If a bunch of sharp bettors, if they know these really smart people, customers that they've lost money on, have come in and started to hammer the over, they're going to drop odds on the over. Right? So not only do they have better models than you and data feeds than you, but they have access to the betting volume of sports bettors. They know how much money those sports bettors have won and lost, so they can adjust lines, right? Essentially due to betting volume. Just like if a really smart hedge fund starts to buy a stock, the stock price will go up because demand's higher. So the way you beat books is you find inefficiencies in the market, right? So like here, basically every sports book is pricing this over 9 runs around plus 165. You're getting plus 190 on Fliff. That's a no-brainer, right? You're getting an insane improvement, right? So that's a really good play to go with. But anyways, let's go over to Underdog Fantasy and we can, start to look for some plays. So I went through the math behind the Underdog Fantasy promo, and you're going to see just for this promo, they're increasing the payout for 2-pick entries to 4x, right? So you can see right here, they have a 4x payout for these entries when usually they only have a 3x payout, right? So all we need to do is find one pair for each of these plays, right? Ohtani over one of a home run loud, whatever. And this game starts at 11:20, so there are kind of all different MLB games tonight. But what we can do is we can go over here and we can, let's reload this, and we can take a look at some of the plays available. So where do we want to start? Where do we want to start? So what we can do is we can take this first play. This play seems a little good. I mean, it's in yellow, but again, this promo is super profitable. So if you go through the math behind this promo, it's, long story short, it's really profitable. But if you take a look at this APA player, right? Like all OddsJam is doing is it's showing you value in the market. And I say this all the time, but like, you know, the hard part of sports betting is figuring out what bets are profitable, where there's value, where there's line discrepancies. So OddsJam is reading in, you know, thousands of odds for each, you know, for esports alone on Underdog, on PrizePicks. Every second, you can see they bumped up all my Taco Tuesday or Flex Friday plays I gave out on Twitter. But all OddsJam is doing is pointing out value in the market, right? There's really nothing complicated. There's no BS. So you can see for this APA player, his line is 4 on PrizePicks. On Underdog Fantasy, it's 4.5. So again, I'm not saying you can't make money sports betting. A lot of people get discouraged when I'm like, oh, you're not going to be able to outsmart the sports books. I'm saying you're not going to be able to create your own model that can project these lines, you know, better than the sports books can. So what you do is you use every sports book as a data point, right? PrizePicks, one of the biggest sports books out there, you know, a bigger company than Underdog Fantasy. They have more customers, more betting volume. Their model is currently pricing APA at 4, map 1 kills. Parlay plays at 4 as well. Underdog Fantasy is at 4.5, right? So we found the discrepancy in the market, right? So this seems like a good play to go with. APA under 4.5. So all OddsJam is doing is saying, hey, you know, this play is interesting. APA, this line on Underdog Fantasy, because his line's 4.5, whereas it's 4 on PrizePicks and ParlayPlay. So it's like, okay, $10 max bet size for this promo, but whatever, we'll go ahead and we'll hit it. And that'll be my first one. And again, like for most of these players, what you have to remember is OddsJam's not, you know, again, it's not doing anything complicated. If you look at this player, you know, what's his name? Feed Arias. If you look him up on PrizePicks, so he's not even showing up on PrizePicks. So let's go to another player. It's like usually there aren't discrepancies in the market. Sportsbooks do, you know, a pretty good job overall at setting their lines. So let's go here. Ooh, we got Alex. That's my name. So if we look, and he's not showing up. Super annoying. But long story short, let's go back here. Osman or Nakyung. No, let's just look up this Osman guy, right? So you're going to see PrizePicks and Underdog Fantasy, you know. Well, here you can actually see another discrepancy between PrizePicks. I just found this. I'm sure it's somewhere on the tool. But if you look at this Nakyung guy, right, where's his line? His line is, so you can see there's kind of discrepancies everywhere. This is actually 2.5 here on PrizePicks. It's 3. So maybe I refreshed this, but what I'm trying to say, pick 2 horrible examples right there. But if you like go to the MLB, right, Jack Flattery, his strikeout line is at 4 or is at 5.5. Underdog Fantasy has him at 5.5. Okay, there's no value in the market, right? ParlayPlay has his line at 5.5. So all the books are in unison. They all have his line at 5.5. There's no value. There's no discrepancies that are noticeable in the market. So there's no plays to, you know, take advantage of. So we placed our first one on Underdog Fantasy. So in a league we recently added to OddsJam is this TBT league, which I honestly don't know that much about, but I guess we're going to be betting on it. So you're going to see, you know, it's some basketball league that's in the summer. And again, like maybe you don't like betting on basketball, maybe you do. So we'll hit this for $10. But like, you know, it's just kind of like I'm just following the value, right? Wherever there's discrepancies, a lot of people love betting on the NFL. I say this in other videos, but like the NFL is great, but there's basically only games once a week, right? When there's more than one game, and sportsbooks are pretty good at keeping their odds, dialed in. So I'll hit this for my next one. So then we got a second play, right? And I guess you could take the same play if you wanted. Like we could go here back to this APA guy. And if you wanted to, this play seemed pretty solid. I went through the math behind this promo on Twitter. But again, 2 or 3 pick entries is what you want to go with. So we could take Ohtani, right? So there's our third pick. So let's go back here and let's refresh this. So this play seems solid. Maybe. I'm not sure. But you can see here, there's like, some different plays you can go with. You can kind of pick. There's some other MLB plays. But for this promo, anything above 50% is going to be profitable. So literally you could go with any of these plays based on the boost they're giving you. But regardless, like whatever, we might as well find, some other plays. If we want to spread it out a bit, we can spread it out a bit. So again, there's no like magic here. We could take Jeremy Pena under 1.5 bases, which is what we wanted to take, which was what the site was recommending. And then we could take Valdez over. So it's like, okay, well, they're on the same team. So let me change this from Valdez to UC. So I'll hit this, and then we can go back here and like whatever, we can refresh this and see if anything else new has come up. Before we head over to another sports book. And again, like, depending on the books you use, I say this in other videos, but like I'm just using the sports books that are legal in my state. Bet Victor, I have no idea what it is. I'm not sure where it's legal, but you can see there's an amazing bet on Bet Victor. Maybe that's a book legal in your location. I don't know, right? A lot of these sports books, they're only legal in one state, right? So you can see here, I mean, this plays a no-brainer. They have Braxton over 5.5 strikeouts at -108 odds. All the other sports books have this, around -150. That's the average line across hundreds of sports books on OddsJam, right? This plays clear as day. But anyways, I don't, use that sports book. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some of the books I do use, however, and then we can find some more plays. So again, there's a lot of good bets on FanDuel. There's a lot of good bets on all these sports books. The more books you have, the better. More books means more profitable betting opportunities. So here we can see a really good play just came up on PrizePicks. Hopefully they don't move it. So let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go to PrizePicks. Let's go to MLB. And let's see how long this play lasts. So we got to move quickly. We want Braxton Garrett over 5.5 strikeouts. All the sports books, I'm not sure if lines moved. So you can see lines have kind of been moving towards his over, right? Bet online, they've moved his over from -133 to -161. So maybe there were some lineup changes, and now he's more likely to get more strikeouts, but his over is getting more favored. Right? Sportsbooks have moved from like whatever, -130 to -160. Dang, here's an incredible play. Alex Marsh, his line is 15.5 on PrizePicks. OddsJam's recommending you take the over on the fantasy optimizer. Sportsbooks have his line at 16.5. So that play is crazy. So we want to go here, and then we want to go to pitching outs over 15.5. Again, you're not smarter than the sportsbooks. I'm not smarter than the sportsbooks. It's all about following this market information, right? Jordan Crawford over 27.5. I think that other play I already bet. But if we go here, nope. So I don't want TBT. I actually want big 3. So Jordan Crawford over 27.5 PRAs. This game's on Sunday, which is a little annoying. Underdog has his line higher. I unplugged the light. So Underdog has his line higher. ParlayPlay has his line higher. So it's like, okay, that seems like a good play to go with. Here you can see the play on Braxton Garrett, right? So Licorice under 3.5. So this play seems pretty good. And again, like, you know, trying to add in, help at least explain why I'm going with the plays I'm going with. So again, it's the same concept for every sports book. Find value. You can actually see there's a fair amount of plays. So tactical, right? All these players, other sports books have the line lower. I'm not sure what they're doing. So we can put in this blabber player, right? And I can get rid of this play. So you can see here, right? Sportsbooks have the line lower. PrizePicks has the line too high relative to the other data points. I mean, granted, in the MLB, there's a lot more sportsbooks that post odds, which means you should be a lot more confident in where the line should be set, right? Like here, FanDuel, billion-dollar company, pricing this around -150. Caesars, billion-dollar company, really sophisticated models, taking all these bets, moving around lines, better data feeds than you, pricing this at -150. Bet online, you know, same thing. You can go down the list. Whereas in esports, there's only a few sports books that post lines, or not as many. So what about this revenge guy? So we can take a look at revenge, maybe see if there's any positive correlation we're getting. Not really, but this play seems decent. So yeah, I mean, we could play this as a 6 flex. We could play it as a 5 flex. Where's Underdog Fantasy on this Alex Marsh guy? They don't even have a player outsign for him. So we can lock this in on PrizePicks, and there we'll have a PrizePicks 6 flex entry. Boom, it actually took it. We were able to get that down in time, so that's pretty nice. And none of these players are from the same game, right? Just making sure. And here we have a 6-pick entry. So we're betting 100 to win 2.5K. And again, like, you know, the concept behind PrizePicks, so you can take a screenshot if you want to bet this or whatever. But the concept behind PrizePicks is like pretty simple, right? PrizePicks is a platform where they don't change your payout based on you selecting over versus under. You can call it whatever you want, a fixed payout sports book, right? Whatever. Any 2-pick parlay, you're getting a 3x payout. Doesn't matter if you take overs or unders. So the entire point is like, okay, what you want to do, I mean, and it should make sense, is you want to look for spots where sports books have one side, right? Either the over or the under heavily favored. So for Braxton Garrett, right, all the books have his over heavily favored. All the books have his over, you know, priced at like -150 odds. So it's the big favorite. Sports books are telling you the over is a lot more likely than the under. So of course on PrizePicks, as a, you know, somebody who wants to make money as a data-driven bettor, we're going to take the over because all the books have the over favored. Why would we take the under? It would make no sense. That's how you go broke betting on sports. So we can refresh and, you know, go back to the fantasy optimizer. We can head over to some different sports books. Again, like all these books work in slightly different ways. So Jock Market, for example, it's like, you know, like Thrive Fantasy, for example, I almost never use this sports book just because there's like no profitable bets. I always just see plays in red. So there's nothing good to go with, right? Some sports books screw up more than others, but still having as many books as possible is good. And then also, you know, again, like you never know which books are going to be running super profitable promos on a given day. Turns out today was a good day for Underdog Fantasy, right? Running this, you know, whatever, all these various odds boosts and stuff like that. So let's refresh this. And we got some plays open. Do I have one more super boost to go with? So I still have one more to go with. So what we can do is we can go back to Underdog Fantasy, right? We can see if there's any plays on Fliff. And again, like this is why sports betting is so fascinating. There's basically 2 reasons. The first man, Facebook's getting crushed. So the first reason is in sports betting, right? Your returns are daily. So Fliff has a max bet size of $250. I already bet this, so I'm not going to be able to rebet it. But like what I mean by that is people, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, like an 8% ROI is a great ROI investing in the stock market for a year, which is like roughly how much it goes up every year over the past, whatever history, 150 years. In sports betting, if you could get 1% on your bets, right? We're betting on games that are today. So if you could earn 1% on your bets and you're betting every day, that's 30% ROI in a month, right? So that's why you can really compound your money and start to make serious profit sports betting once you figure out how to get an edge. These returns are daily. So your returns are daily. If you can earn 3% a day, that's 90% a month. ROI, right? Which is crazy if you think about it. Because a lot of people will be like, whoa, that's crazy. That guy bet, $30,000 in a month. It's like he didn't bet $30,000 in one day. He bet $1,000 a day, right? Over the course of a month, that's $30,000. So, and if you have an ROI on all your bets, some days will be a little bit down, some days up, but you'll win more than, you lose, and you'll make money due to the law of large numbers. So what's crazy about sports betting, I mean, you got to be on this plays, right? Like every single sports book, all these billion-dollar companies with sophisticated models moving around lines, due to supply and demand, bets coming in, injuries, lineup changes, right? A lot of people will be like, oh, you didn't consider this guy's, last game, his last 5 games. How many strikeouts did he have last game? And the truth is, it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. I never look at it because it's irrelevant. If he had 10 strikeouts last game, 20 strikeouts last game. If he had 2 strikeouts last game, if he gave up 55 earned runs last game, it's already baked into the price of the market or the odds on sports books, the price in the market, right? Just like if Mark Zuckerberg, dies today. I mean, if Mark Zuckerberg dies today, like in a few days, that'll be baked into the price of Facebook, right? It's public information. The rest of the world knows Facebook stock will go down a lot, but like you get the point, is it's all baked into the market. Obviously, hopefully, he doesn't, but just like, everything is baked into the market. Good news, bad news, stuff like that. Lineup changes. If the best player for the opposing team, I think so he's the Pirates pitcher, right? If Ohtani gets injured, right, that'll be baked into the lines, right? That'll move his lines. That's why these odds are constantly changing. Lineup changes, weather changes. And you can see every sports book has ripped him to having his under super heavily favored. His under 6.5 strikeouts. We're getting minus 120 on Fliff, which is a 4.65% profit margin, right? So I hit this bet for $250, $250 at a 4% profit margin, right? Pretty good. My bet has over $10 in profit margin, right? 4.65% times 250. You take your edge, you multiply it by your stake. All the books pricing this around minus 150, minus 160, clear value hitting this under. So we can refresh this. You can see there's some good plays on FanDuel. I mean, I try to point them out because obviously a popular sports book, right? Lance Lynn, over 7.5 strikeouts, right? Most other books pricing this around, minus 111 on average, right? We're getting plus 112 on FanDuel. That seems pretty good. So, it's pretty simple. You just hit the bet in green. If you don't care about the math, that's how you do it. But if you do care about the math, right, we have literally hundreds of strategy videos on the OddsJam YouTube breaking down how to back out the profit margin of your bet. What sports books are best? What is no vig odds? How do sports books work? Sports betting math, right? Strategies for making money, all that stuff we have. So we can go back here and anything we want to go with. So we could just take this, whatever. We'll take another baseball play. Velazquez under half of a base. Sure. So we'll hit this for $10. Right? And there's another 2-pick parlay. And again, like there's no rocket science to it. This is a ridiculously profitable promo. I mean, they're increasing it from 3x to a 4x payout. Pretty meaningful. So it doesn't particularly matter like what you go with, but, hopefully, the explanation of the strategy and stuff like that was useful. So we can go back to League of Legends. All right, and we can take a look at some of these line discrepancies. So this Blabber player, Licorice, Revenge. So you can see there's some other plays on Underdog, anything we want to go with. Nothing I would say like outrageous. I mean, some of the first live streams, there were, some pretty crazy plays. So do not want to be there. So let's go back here. So we have some CSGO. And I've explained before, like there's different strategies, for making money. Like as an example, this play, right? Nine's line was 13 on Underdog Fantasy. On PrizePicks, his line was 18.5. Dang. So this play already lost by half of a kill, and it was looking good aside from that. But regardless, like you're going to see here, his line was 18.5 on PrizePicks, right? It was 13 on Underdog. So you take the over on Underdog, the under on PrizePicks, and you have this, you're basically just capitalizing on a market inefficiency. 13, 18.5. It should be pretty clear why that's a good play. So anyways, I'll call this live stream for now. Hopefully it was helpful. Just kind of trying to do them sporadically when there's profitable promos. Whoa, you can see there's actually a crazy ParlayPlay promo. Or this isn't even a promo. This is just a bet. So again, lines are always moving, and we're capitalizing, right? His under is getting more favored. It looks like most sportsbooks have, been drifting odds towards his under. His under's gone from -146 to -180 on Caesars. So let's go back here to ParlayPlay, and let's see what plays are available. So this play's crazy good, right? What else do we got? So we're looking for 5 picks on this platform. So we have Sabrina under 18 points. Okay. Some of these plays I've already hit from previous live streams. Again, on ParlayPlay, you can only bet a certain amount per player per day. Nolan under 1.5 bases. So now we're going to need 2 more picks after this. So again, it really is a volume game. When you have an edge, like you're never going to be able to predict the future and win every bet. Again, it's all just about Franklin Session, 22.5 on ParlayPlay, 22 on Underdog and PrizePicks, 22.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. So that will be our 3rd pick. So all under so far. And I'm trying to move quickly. Again, these great betting opportunities, they're not always going to last forever. So we want to go to Crawford. Is he on the same team or different team? They're on different teams, but they kind of, compete for rebounds. So I don't really want to take that, but I could take, what do I want to take? This I already bet on a previous live stream. I'm trying to remember if I've already bet some of this stuff. So whatever, maybe we take Lance Lynn over 7 strikeouts. Okay. So we can go here. And now we have an over. And we can go to insured entry, and we can put on $100. And there we have our play, right? And again, like the strategy is pretty simple on ParlayPlay. It's just like PrizePicks, right? They're not changing your payout based on you selecting over versus under. We have tons of tutorial videos about how to beat them online. Again, all these books offer new user, sign-up bonuses. All my refer a friend code are below. It's like Alex or ALEXM on most of these books. On ParlayPlay, you sign up with code ALEXM. They give you a $100 sign-up bonus. You put in 100, they give you 100 for free. Pretty easy. So why do we like this Senga play? Pretty simple. All sports books have his under really heavily favored, right? His under is a lot more likely than his over. Here are the 5 picks if you want to pause it again. And again, this is a platform, right, where they're not changing your payout based on you selecting 2 players from 2 different teams. So again, this is a platform just like PrizePicks where they don't change your payout. So let's wait for WNBA to load. This is a platform where they don't change your payout based on you selecting over versus under, right? you're going to see 3x. It doesn't matter if I take this guy's over or under. So you just want to look for spots where sports books have one outcome, one side heavily favored. So we hit some bets. Hopefully this video was helpful. Again, I'm focusing mainly on these DFS sites. Again, there's tons of bets on FanDuel, right? PrizePicks, ParlayPlay. You know, ParlayPlay is literally called ParlayPlay. It works very similar to PrizePicks, right? Fixed payouts. Doesn't matter if you take over or under. You can only place parlays, right? I can't just bet on one pick. I need 2 players from 2 different teams. So these are all the types of sports books that are legal in California, where I'm currently located, right? More traditional sports betting, which I usually do, right? I'm initially from Virginia, is just you hit these bets, right? There's no parlays. You don't have to parlay anything. You just hit these bets, you know, Tatis over 1.5, you know, hits. Johan Oviedo under 6.5. Oakland Athletics money line. Jake Berger minus 135. Like this guy's minus 135 to get a hit on FanDuel. You have all these other billion-dollar companies, really sophisticated books, sophisticated models telling you no. FanDuel's wrong. This should be closer to like minus 180. So that's a good play to go with. But anyways, hopefully this video was helpful. I'll be back on live later. Have a great, start to your Friday weekend.